welcome back to Half-Life 2 update with community commentary. We're gonna start with the obvious, so let's go.
Some of the earliest concepts of the Citadel's exterior depicted it as a mixture of European and alien architecture. While this approach was abandoned for the exterior, the interior was based on the totalitarian architecture of Nazi and communist regimes. What makes the Citadel distinctly different, however, is a lack of symmetry, which is intended to create tension.
Well, I'm not quite sure what he means by saying a lack of symmetry. This hallway seems pretty symmetrical, but if we're talking about the grander landscaping or floor plan of the whole building, he might be right. It's not like we've gone through simple corridors to get here, but anyway, of course, like I said previously, there's an army waiting for us. Well, I guess the prisoner pods in the back create the illusion that there's more than 5 of them there, and I think they're gonna have a little bit of a backup from a strider. So again, a cliff here where we cannot return. But today we're gonna continue our adventure not only through the Citadel, slowly finishing it hopefully eventually, but also through the political landscape of today's life. So the time of Donald Trump slowly comes to an end. There's the strider. Great, now we need to find something that we can block its bullets with and try not to die ourselves. Now the snowmen will help us fucking die with their balls to the face. Simple. That's what Combine is all about. Balls to the face. We're dying right away. Well, not right away, but we're dead already. Fuck me. Well, we're not gonna listen to the commentary again, but right. So we gotta go. Problem is when you grab an object and you're on a trajectory here, bunny hopping over all over the place, really. It really kind of locks you in, and you can easily just not come back from that cliff. One wrong move and you can just end up falling off of a fucking cliff or whatever chasm, because that's how the building is built. Not my day today, I guess. Not my day today. But like I tried to start saying, Trump, it's almost over for him. One thing he did, of course, after the violence happened at the White House, he decided not to address anything as if it didn't happen. I mean, on one hand, you might be thinking it would be better to avoid what Clinton did, showing up at the podium and saying I did not have any sexual really. Fuck me, man. What the fuck? Am I supposed to just crouch through it? I can't. I have to go to get the balls and to shove it back into Combine's face. I don't know. Something's just not right here. And I'm full health as well. Am I supposed to just sprint through here until I'm at the end, before the striders really sort of spawns? So what's with Trump? Right, instead of avoiding the what Clinton did, pointing fingers and denying what happened in specific words, really giving away how he did actually have sexual relationship with that woman. He tries to avoid the issue like Mandalorian avoids what they've done with tracking fobs and how fucking overpowered they were. But no, unfortunately in politics I don't think it will work. You really need to PR this up by saying even if you need to lie, you know, you just say I condone the violence, and that's good enough. Well, good enough. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that phrasing. Good enough. Come on, and it's gonna be crouching like this all the time. So not only is it hitting me, but I'm missing. Ah, there we go. That worked. Now you can fuck off. The fuck with this scanner? I punted away and then what? It hit the balls and that damaged him more? put them over the edge and then it just plummeted down at us. What are these? These are new kind of veins here. I don't remember them really. Must have blended with the environment too well up until this point, but hardly noticed them here as well. I mean, they sort of remind me a bit of Halo architecture or Covenant shit with the blue thing and organic curves, but other than that, the fuck are they? The fuck are they? They couldn't have been transparent yellow like they were. It's Mr. Gordon for you. I'll be Dr. Freeman. I'm pretty satisfied with that. So maybe I was supposed to run through and grab those balls? I don't know. We won't know now. We're through that part, and I'm not just gonna load in a save to experiment with that shit. So yeah, Donald didn't address it, and he had multiple chances to do that. Multiple opportunities. He had some more speeches after the event occurred, which he did not capitalize on. He pretty much acts dumb, you know. You know how it is. Oh, this is the other one that I was actually trying to talk about the first time around when we were at those gondolas. There's one going left and the other one should be going right now, and there's only one track. And hopefully eventually left still. I don't know if it's at random at this point, but I know whatever gondola you're gonna hop into, I think you're gonna just go right. You might argue that there's a weight sensor inside the thing, but maybe it just exists to fuck you over one way or another. We have to get in, and then we're gonna go right, I think, unless all of them going left along with us, and then we're gonna get selected against. So there's this auto-scroller track again. Maybe we're gonna have a commentary alongside, well, along the way, but yeah, we will. And we're going there already.
The concept of the Stalkers started out with creatures that would follow the player in the shadows and then jump out. This idea wasn't really the final application for the Stalkers, but they became even more horrifying as their visual design was worked out. They became captured humans who were gutted, amputated, weaponized, crazed, and mentally unstable slave laborers for the Combine. While they are technically enemies of the player, the fact that they are also victims made players pity them, creating a sense of moral ambiguity. This made them much more horrifying than the typical monster.
So they got caught, they got, and we pretty much did the same. The camera just scanned us because it's a very smart idea to just lock yourself into a gondola that restricts your movement instead of at least holding onto it, like, you know, grabbing it instead of being mounted into it. More like, you know what I mean, don't you? You know, holding onto it instead of being held by it. Maybe that's clear enough. There we just passed a few of the creatures that got cut from the game because development and shit. The models still exist clearly, but no place have been found for them, so we have again tiny walkways for them to move over a fucking chasm. One slip and they're done. At least they're not as high and in the air, sort of like they don't have the center of mass as high as Striders do, so when they slip they will make a swift recovery. And now a nice vista, finally knowing how big a city is and how high up are we in the structure. Even specifically for that, windows this high up, cold, wind, low oxygen, maybe at this point might as well, but gondola specifically for us slowed down so we can see, because, you know, Combine might be ruthless, but they're not monsters. They'll let you have a little bit of a peek around. And here we are, dark energy, pretty much the end. Again, laser. This time it's not, well, they wouldn't know, but whether they were trying to disintegrate it or not, it failed, and now they've got it, and now we've got nothing on top of being essentially chained.
Until you're where he wants you, there's nothing you can do.
Well, it's not like we're really tied up. I think if we try hard enough, we can slip from the top, sort of, right? Yeah. If you try hard enough, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to run away.
impossible to describe with our limited vocabulary.
What I've seen is also beyond words, Breen. Genocide. Indescribable evil.
Eli, don't dramatize.
God.
Also, there is no track here again. We were just floating in.
What's this? I'll put it over there.
Yeah, whatever.
You
Good, he's stupid.
my
He doesn't know.
gratitude, Doctor. First you lead me straight to the doorstep of my oldest friend, and then you deliver your
Yeah, I have.
If I'd known you were going to come straight up to my office, I wouldn't have bothered hunting you in the first place. Having both of you in my keeping ensures I can dictate the terms of any bargain I care to make with a Combine.
So you say as if we were important, but I don't really see how Combine sees us as
Yes,
important.
Judith, what is it?
The bargain we should be making is for Eli's life so he can continue his research.
Thanks to you, we have everything we need in that regard. You're more than qualified to finish his research yourself. What neither you nor I
Again,
can do
not
is
irreplaceable.
convince that rabble in the streets to give up their senseless struggle. Yet Eli refuses to speak the words that would save them all.
Save
But
them. For
you
what?
just said it wouldn't work.
If you won't do the right thing for the good of all people, maybe you'll do it for one of them.
Conveniently hidden away. Oh, they're there, of course.
Dad.
And she was just sitting there quietly.
God damn you, Breen, you let her go.
That's all up to you, my old friend.
Also, we're in this predicament now. Finally, we were always in control of our character and trying to frame the scene however we want. But this time, it's very limited.
How dare you even mention
Finally, the devs have more control over what we see and what we don't.
Eyes, but your father's stubborn nature.
You haven't seen a bit of it yet.
Really? Well, let's see how well it serves you on the far side of a Combine portal.
Go ahead, Breen. If that's the worst you can do, send us both through your portal.
Oh, it's hardly the worst. But you might find that hard to believe once you get there.
Isn't that a taunt?
Necessary.
I agree.
Set us both so I can spend my time with my daughter, and we were smart, so we have better chance of survival.
This one has proven to be
Guess he
a fine
saw
target
through
for
it.
Those who control him.
No.
Don't listen to him, Gordon.
How about it, Doug Freeman? Did you realize your contract was open to the highest bidder?
I did actually. I don't really care about the rubble down the
If
streets.
you don't wish to discuss this in front of your friends,
Not like they were ever
send them
helpful.
on their way, and then we can talk openly.
Please do. I would love to exchange whatever limited time I had in some bunkers and sewers
What do you think
for
you're doing?
We're doing what I
a citadel room like this with carpets as well, and possibly
Guards, get in
marble.
here.
Also, I'm talking over a very dramatic
Take them, they'll turn
final scene.
Judith, Dr. Mossman, please.
I'm sorry, Wallace. You're all out of time. Don't.
Hurry! Dad,
Yeah, don't secure the weapon, right?
You fool.
watch out, he's gonna...
No.
Fortunately, we're the hero and we don't take damage from all of this. Not only were we thrown away, but also, as I went about at length, it just damages others by... It's enough to kill a Combine soldier.
You'll need this.
Dr. Mossman, Judith, look after my father.
Don't you worry.
Dad, I'm not saying goodbye.
Never.
Right, it's not like she already made horrible choices that led us into this situation, and the least she could do was stop sucking at some point, stop being a traitorous fucking cunt. Right, you betrayed us once, you betrayed him again. You're not a trustworthy person, are you? Treason only has one solution, but then again, what greater weapon is there than to turn your enemy to your own
Very
cause?
wrong, then. I know you didn't have to do this.
Right.
I had to rescue my father, but you... Well... Thanks for coming after me. Hey, listen. That's him. There he is.
And then he again. Oh, no cursing. That's a family show. With all the niggers and faggots.
Damn it, not again!
Man, we're fucking wallowing in commentary notes.
Hey, look what he left behind.
Wow.
The gravity gun.
Quick, grab it and fight him. I'll stay here.
Take the gravity gun, Gordon.
No! You take the gravity gun. Right, so of course we have to take the gravity gun to progress. And there's a charging station, but we don't need it really. We already... Why is there a charging station here in case we missed the previous one? Come on, have a little faith. But maybe then again, playtesting showed that faith is not warranted. Faith never is warranted, right? So, Donald, right?
Take the gravity gun, Gordon.
And he tried to distance himself. No, he tried to ignore the issue, but
Wonder where he's going.
down and then across a portal, from what we heard. I'm gonna have a platforming fucking Mario section, so maybe I'll get to
Citadel's dark fusion reactor
finalize my thoughts.
powers their tunneling entanglement device. We'll never have a chance like this again. We've got to stop Dr. Breen.
Go right on ahead. It's not like you're doing much here.
I can't shut it down. Looks like he's turned over control to the other side. You'll have to go into the core and do what you can. Get in the elevator and I'll let you in.
Right, it's all on us again.
Charge up your suit.
Yeah, because apparently players were keen to forget about it the previous, like I just said. Anyway, so commentary note.
The unexpected success of Half-Life 1, Valve had a huge act to follow, and needed to live up to or exceed the outrageously high expectations set for them by themselves and the gaming public. When production eventually started on Half-Life 2, Valve's co-founder, Gabe Newell, told the team that they need not worry about how much time or money was spent creating the game. The only thing they had to be concerned with was making it the best game of all time. Whether or not they achieved this is up for debate. However, something that cannot be denied is the huge impact that Half-Life 2 had on the gaming industry and its legions of fans.
Oh man, every commentary note, a topic on itself. Yes, well, Lord British, who made Ultima, and made millions as well. Let's not get into that. Who made Ultima, once said in an interview that a book is a perfect medium. I mean, it's been perfected. Whatever story you write, it might be a great story at some point, and it pretty much will forever. The book will not improve beyond that, but game can improve. Games can change visually, auditorially, immersively. So at some point, obviously, Half-Life is not the best looking game anymore, so there's a better game to be made. If you just made Half-Life 2 again with a better graphics engine, it's gonna be a better game by default. And then if whatever new technology you can introduce, it will make the game with the same story and with everything being the same better again. Now it's pretty much a standard. It's not that revolutionary anymore, and that reminds me of Halo, which I played recently, which I failed to see how revolutionary that was, and I have to go over this again as well at some point. But yeah, game pretty good, right? Other than the fact that I can't aim down sights for accurate fire. It plays perfectly well. You've got a full character control pretty much all the time. Characters are, I guess, interesting. Story is coherent. Not much fault to give it here, other than whatever I went over all through the episodes.
Do your worst, Gordon. But be careful.
I'll think about it.
When working on this project, I really wanted to make sure that no matter what I did, the update still felt like an authentic version of Half-Life 2. The first goal was fixing many of the bugs and glitches that have plagued the game and worsened the player experience for years. Community input at this step was essential, and with their help, I was able to fix many more problems that I had initially known about. Some of my fixes were eventually incorporated in the official Half-Life 2 updates. The most tedious part by far, however, was the visual overhaul, making sure every shadow and every light was appropriately sharp, fog blended nicely with the environment, and that each area colors were pleasing and matched the game's tone was a long process. The changes needed to be notable, but not to change the soul of Half-Life 2, almost as if it were an official redetailing by Valve. This balancing of new effects, details, and carefully crafted adjustments with the game's original assets was the key element and took up much of the update's development time. I'd like to give a big thank you to Origin PC, EVGA, and Nvidia for their sponsorship, Ross Scott and Did You Know Gaming for helping us read this commentary, and of course Valve for the amazing support. But most of all, I want to thank the passionate fans that have given me a reason to create this. I hope it was worth the wait. Thanks.
After this game, like I said in one of the episodes, we're gonna go into Black Mesa, which is a remake, and we're gonna talk all about Abrez's upscales, remakes, and remasters all over. But yeah, like you said, very important point. I guess I'm gonna be going over it always, ever, forever. To make it better, but not make it different, there is a very specific thing I have in mind as an example for way later, but I'm gonna go over it. I'm not gonna forget it, I'm pretty sure. But let's just say, if you start taking artistic liberties, you're just gonna fuck it up. So don't. Simple, right? Alex up in there, over still at with Eli when we went down the elevator. She said, well, she didn't say anything. What I meant.
Be out there. At the moment of synapse, as I teleport, this chamber will be bathed in deadly particles that have yet to be named by human science. Perhaps when I have the leisure to do the work myself, I'll name one of them after you. That way you won't be completely forgotten. When the singularity collapses, I will be far away from here, in another universe, as a matter of fact. You, on the other hand, will be destroyed in every way it is possible to be destroyed, and even in some which are essentially impossible.
So we're going. The countdown has started, essentially. What he said, different universe. I don't know about that. Maybe, possibly. I mean, after all, Vortigaunt. But you know, with what we know right now, and with the famous saying that sufficiently complex technology is indistinguishable from magic, we pretty much can't really say that it's in fact a different universe other than just a different part of it, where vortescence and Vortigaunt energy is used as magic to achieve a lot of cool shit. So yeah, I'm skeptical. Maybe he is exaggerating. That's not impossible. That's not ruled out. But we're going. And Alex, when we were going down, that's pretty much sure. Well, I'm sure they were pretty clear about what they meant during that travel, that whatever commute with the elevator up there. If we just hurry, we might just hit the thing. Just not quick enough, or just not long enough. I don't know. We'll see. So we might have been exaggerating. What's the word? Exaggerating. That's the word. And a little bit of health. Yes, Alex. I'm pretty well acquainted with walking. You don't really need to tell me all about it. Oh, good. I hit him. That's nice. What they tried to convey during that elevator commute is that I think Alex is falling for us, which is kind of weird because we are essentially, at best, it's like time dilation in black hole, where you're younger than your peers that you came from, in a weaker gravitational field. So we're gonna say that, right? So at Black Mesa we were, I don't know, 30, 40. And then 20 years went by, and Eli is older, and his daughter is older as well. His daughter is like 20 something, maybe. He is like 60 or something, but we're still, he says, haven't changed one iota. So we're still the same. Because we might have experienced time dilation, and she sees us as a 30-year-old or something. She sees us as not much older, someone who might have a chance with her. And if only she knew we're pretty much as old as her father, that might have been controversial. So now we're having a little bit of a portal across here, and we're again throwing balls at Combine for all those times we had to face that. Am I even hitting him? I might have hit him, or I might not have. This element of the game really is, other than the obvious trying to hit the gunships that would kill them and make the missions easier, not clear. I'm never really clear on what I'm doing here, but I'm supposed to destroy those petals up in there what I'm hitting right now. Does it even matter, or where I'm supposed to break something else? There, I think. Yeah. Or are they inconsequential? But those shields aren't. And then soon enough. But to go back to Tram, yeah. She's like 20, we're like 60 technically. Right, you worry about that. You're the one below yourself. I really don't. Why would you say that? Nothing ever indicated that.
Come on, Gordon. We've got to get out of here. Maybe we still have...
Time.
Dr. Freeman.
Is it really that time again?
It seems as if you only just arrived.
Yes, it only took me a year, I think.
Great deal in a small
Time span.
You've done so well, in fact, that I've received some interesting offers for your services. Ordinarily, I wouldn't contemplate them, but these are extraordinary times. Rather than offer you the illusion of free choice, I will take the liberty of choosing for you. If and when your time comes round again. I do apologize for what must seem to you an arbitrary imposition, Dr. Freeman. I trust it will all make sense to you in the course of... Well, I'm really not at liberty to say. In the meantime, this is where I get off.
Is that what gets you off? Or maybe this shit literally drives you up the fucking wall. This is the end of the game, actually. It is really that time again where I wasn't fast enough. And now the credits might linger on and end up having the episode being very long. So, while I talk over the ending credits music, which is pretty cool, maybe you should get the game and try it yourself. Gonna try to make it harder for the algorithm to catch it and cause problems for me. Finishing the thoughts about Trump. His term is almost over. There's this peaceful, the whole ritual, let's say, political ritual where you take last tour with the new president-elect and show them around and shit. You know, he won't be participating because he's a petulant child and he's mad now, so that's not gonna be happening. But at the end of his term, the courts or whatever part of the government decides that, decided to impeach him again, or try to impeach him again, give him another trial for impeachment, I guess. And as usual, you know, like it is in the world, too little too late. So I'm not sure what a president who stopped being a president anymore can face as a charge or as a consequence for the impeachment. Like, you can't fire him from presidency when he's not a president anymore. So that's gonna happen. And with all that, all the platforms started deplatforming him, right? Twitters and shit, and Facebooks, and then banks, and then business partners, which is, as far as business partners go, they have freedom of association. Also, this music is very cheerful as well, and very suiting for warm summer days when I was finishing this game originally as well. Pretty cool. Nostalgic for me, maybe not for you, but can't speak for everyone. But European Union took steps to actually start working on some sort of bill of digital rights, letting you remain on platforms, not disallowing platforms to deplatform you. After all, it's not like you can go to the other internet once you're denied on this one. This is essentially monopoly, right? And you supposedly you've got rights against it. Facebook is buying out every social media and applications. Disney is buying every entertainment company. How are they not facing charges? I don't know, but at least the European Union is trying to do something about this, and I complained about old farts in those governments already in Spec Ops The Line, but like I said also previously, it's not important what kind of government you've got, democracy, monarchy, theocracy, oligarchy. The most important part is that the people on top are smart and actually want to do the good thing for you.
Lamar! Blast that little... Where did she get to?
But they most often aren't. So since I'm not the boss of the world, we need those safeguards in place. Your rights, the rights for you to speak freely and not be deplatformed and shit like that. And also, like I said before, even though getting Trump off Twitter might be beneficial, even though getting flat earthers off YouTube might be beneficial, even though getting Alex Jones to shut the fuck up and go back to his court to try to win his custody over his children over from his ex-wife, because his show was court evidence for his retardation and instability, and deplatforming him, at some point those companies and whoever is on top will decide to censor someone who was right, and will have no measures to stop that. So we need those safeguards, because I can't be here all the time, not yet, and I'm not elected the king of the world yet. So technically someone is doing something about it. But that'll be it for today, that'll be it for Half-Life 2 as well, I guess, Half-Life 2 update as well, with the commentaries provided, with the voiceovers from those more famous YouTubers than me. Like I alluded to, a revolutionary game at some point, needed to fill quite a big shoes. It's still perfectly serviceable, perfectly playable, but not unique anymore. Maybe serving as a template, as an inspiration to others. And I'm gonna talk all about them in the next part, where I play Half-Life for you, for free. See you next time, and in the meantime interact with the video, as well as interact with everything else I've got on my channel.